Well, 33 months, 300 hours on the old B2601, 300 videos, and I'm fast closing in on 25,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. I thought maybe it was a great time to do a bit of a channel update, talk about a few things or some exciting things coming, answer a few of the questions I've received lately, and of course, I think it's time to celebrate. Big milestones, at least for me. I hope you'll stick around. Cheers. You know, before I finally took the plunge and purchased that B2601, I had the property, I had a shovel, a rake, and a wheelbarrow. And at one point I'd eventually bought a lawn tractor. That's all I had. This whole area you see behind you, full of rocks, which as you folks know, are all piled here on the side of the forest. And they had bulrushes and cattails that were literally 6 to 7 feet high through this entire area here. I had no grapple, I had no front end loader, I didn't have a tractor. I pulled them out on this entire acreage, one by one, by hand. But I got it done. Well, I certainly think I've accomplished a lot in a very short period of time with that tractor on the property, and I'm really happy that a lot of you folks have come along for the ride. Why don't we grab a seat and catch up? I thought it might be a little appropriate to do our update here on the porch. For those of you that have been with the channel for a long time, you'll remember this is where I did my very first channel update at video number 50. Every once in a while, I'll skim back through some of the original videos I did years ago. And I tell you, they make me laugh because, in all fairness, I had never done a video before in my life, let alone tried to upload it to something called YouTube. And I had nothing more than this one bullet camera. That's all I had at the time. A number of subscribers have asked me numerous times over the last year or two if I would mind taking you guys out for a tour of the lake so you can see the whole lake. And I know that would be kind of exciting or interesting to a lot of you, and I'd love to do it. I've given it a lot of thought because, as you've probably noticed, I haven't done it yet. And unfortunately, I've decided I'm not going to do it. The main reason is privacy. On this lake, it's not a huge lake, but it's a couple of kilometers long. It's a good-sized lake. It's about 150 feet deep in the middle. It's a clear lake. It's beautiful here. But a lot of the folks that live here are actually retired here. And of course, the rest of the cottages are privately owned. So you've got families out there enjoying their docks or enjoying their cottage. And I don't think it would be appropriate for me to take a video camera around that, capture them all, and put it on public media. So for that reason, unfortunately, I won't be able to take you around the lake. But hopefully you'll get some enjoyment out of some of the drone shots I do in the bay because they're a little less intrusive. Second thing that's come up, people have asked me a number of questions about how I manage this channel, how I film, and those kind of things. I did do a video in January, which was my last update, where I went through all the equipment I have. I generally have the same equipment, except for I now have a new drone, which you've probably noticed in the last several videos. However, one of the questions which has come up several times is people ask me what frame rate I film in. I always film in a 60 frame per second rate. I know that people say that if you film at 29 or 30 frames per second, you get more of a theatrical or a movie-like exposure. But I like clean, crisp videos, especially when I'm doing action shots or I have, you know, the cameras inside the box blade or under the tractor or showing you details. Filming at 60 frames per second gives you a bit of an advantage in the fact that you've got clear, crisp lines in that video, and you're also able to fast forward or slow motion parts of your film, which you may or may not have contemplated ahead of time. When you film at 29 or 30 frames per second and you try to slow it down or fast forward it, it becomes very, very staggered and very, very uneven. It just doesn't come out smooth. So I always film at 60 frames per second. Second question which people have asked is why I'm not filming in 4K. There's an important reason to that. Not everybody that watches the videos or the channel has access to gigabyte or really fast internet service. And so I currently still to this day, I film at 1080p. I think it's clear enough and crisp enough for folks. If I were to start filming at 4K, what'll happen is it's going to take me even longer to edit those videos because the data files or the video files are going to be much bigger than they are at 1080. But more importantly for you as a viewer, you're going to find, depending on the internet service you have, that the videos will continue to pause and buffer because there's just huge files to process. And although YouTube uses compression sequencing or compression type technology, you're still going to find, as I have when I've tested it a few times, especially up here at the cottage, that it continues to buffer constantly. So, quick update on music, because music still to this day is probably one of the most, if not the most, commented on items. As the channel grows, I've tried to diversify a little bit or tried to do different things in different formats across the videos to help appeal to a wider spectrum of likes or dislikes. Some people like music, some people don't like music. When you put music in a video, some people like different types of music and others will not like those types of music. So music is a very difficult component of your editing because you want to make sure, A, that if you're going to put music, you try your best to get music that fits, and you also want to try to accommodate a large number of interests. What you'll find probably over the last several months is that over a period of time, you'll have videos that have absolutely no music in them whatsoever. They're all sound. You'll have some videos that are part music, part tractor or chainsaw, or the actual audio of the project I'm working on. And you'll have some that are all music. The reason I use music is not just to try to put flavor or more creativity into a video, but it also serves a couple of purposes. When I use the drone, for example, the drone has no audio. So when I have a video that has 4 or 5 minutes of drone footage, if I don't put music in the background, it's dead silent for the entire video. So music serves a purpose. The other really important part that music plays in these videos is on windy days. Now, I have some audio equipment with my video equipment, but I certainly am not at a point where I can spend thousands of dollars on really, really high-tech audio equipment. So you're still going to find on some days, really windy days, that when you're trying to film segments, you get booming wind sounds in the audio on those microphones. And I can edit them out in some cases. So music helps to mute that sudden boom in your ear of the noise of the wind coming through the microphone. That's why sometimes you'll find that I'm going right along in a video, you're hearing the chainsaw or the tractor or whatever the noise is or the audio. And then all of a sudden, for no reason, I start putting music in for a short segment. It's because there's a section of that video that has a lot of booming wind in it. And I think it's more pleasant for you to listen to the music than it is to have the wind banging in against the microphone. Quick answer to many questions about my overalls or my bib. It's a Carhartt bib. I believe it's an R1 model. It's their cheapest model overalls. I think it was about $89 Canadian. My wife actually made me buy these years ago because I kept ruining pairs of jeans. That's why I wear the overalls. And I also think overalls are really handy to have on when you're doing work, whether it's outdoors or, you're working on the tractor or doing any type of work, because they're tough, they're rugged, lots of pockets, places to put your tools, and you don't have to worry about them getting dirty or greasy. I'll be doing my regular chores that I do around the property. As you folks know, I don't make up things or manufacture things to show you on the channel. I just film what I do here. But definitely we've got to build that woodshed before the winter. I've got to continue making the trails out through the forest because I promised my wife that. And I think we only got about 270 feet of trails done before the fall last year. And of course, we've got a lot of firewood to do between now and the end of October, and whatever other activities or things that come up between now and then. As you folks probably know, YouTube has fast become a very large and popular marketing channel for manufacturers. I've got a number of new pieces of equipment already lined up going into the next couple of months, but I love trying new tools and new pieces of equipment. And so I do have a few coming. I also have a really big change on the channel coming pretty soon, and I can't wait for it to happen, but that's all I'm going to tell you for today. But as it pertains to equipment and different types of tools that I've had on the channel, I wanted to once again reiterate something that I do every 6 months or so. Still to this day, I have never taken any financial compensation for any type of equipment you see me using on this channel. I've had a couple of comments recently where people have said, your video is like an infomercial. Only a couple of comments, not many. But I wanted to just talk about that a little bit. I certainly try not to make it like an infomercial. I've never tried to sell you equipment on this channel. I've never tried to tell you to buy any piece of equipment on this channel or to buy anything from anyone. I show you equipment. I love trying it and I love trying new things, and hopefully it's of value to you folks to be able to see different products from time to time that I'm able to show you how they actually work in real life, which hopefully helps to give you some confidence or a better understanding of that particular tool or that particular type of equipment. And I think it's beneficial for us both. However, in doing so, one of the things I do have to do for manufacturers is I need to talk about that equipment. I need to tell you what the specs are of it, how it's supposed to work, different attributes of that piece of equipment, which I think is just a common courtesy to a manufacturer who spends money to ship a piece of equipment up here for me to try out on the channel and to use. Not to mention, I benefit from being able to use it. So I hope that provides a little bit of background around my approach. To answer a few questions which I've had, I don't reach out to manufacturers. Manufacturers have always reached out to myself. I think there is some type of access or service through Google or YouTube where companies are able to narrow down different types of channels that may fit a demographic for a type of product they have. To this date, I've actually turned down more product offers than equipment you've seen on the channel. The reason I do that is because if I don't think the product is something I would like, or I don't like the attributes or the quality or any other particular things about the product where basically I just don't think it has legs, then I respectfully decline to try the equipment. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to show you things that I don't like or that I have a strong feeling you're not going to like, because it doesn't benefit anybody. But that's kind of still to this day how that process works. I don't get paid anything. I don't receive any financial compensation whether you choose to buy a product or not that you see on this channel. That's totally up to you. We all have different needs, but at least if nothing else, we both come away with a little more knowledge about something we didn't know before. What I am really pleased about is over the last year, I've been able to request and receive kindness from some of these manufacturers who have allowed discount codes for you as a subscriber should you choose to want to buy that product. And I think that's pretty beneficial. I hope that kind of puts to bed some of those questions that you may have. Ah, yes, my biggest regret on the channel. The biggest regret I have after 33 months is that I didn't take the time to go around this property and film what it looked like before I started using my tractor and I started doing all the projects I've done in the last couple of years. So I think that wraps up the channel talk, and as well as answers some of the main questions or some of the repeated questions I've had over the last little while since our last channel update. But now let's talk about something exciting. The channel is fast approaching 25,000 subscribers, which is to me a big milestone, and I appreciate all of the support from you folks. And in fact, a number of manufacturers also appreciated your support. Let me tell you what's coming up. So I'm pretty excited to let you know that we've got 5 manufacturers who have offered out gifts to celebrate our 25,000 subscriber milestone when we get there. So I've decided I'm going to run a number of different contests, and we're going to run it kind of like this. Through watching some other channels, I've found an online random comment selector. It's a simple program. Basically, I can put in a video, push a button, it will actually seize all the comments under that video and randomly pick a winner. Certainly going to be a whole lot easier than the way I've been doing it in the past. Over the next several weeks, as we approach our 25,000 milestone, on some random video, I'm going to announce the contest for a specific gift. On that video, I'll show you what the gift is to celebrate our 25K milestone, and I'm going to ask you to comment below that video. After a number of days, which I'll tell you on the video, I'm going to go in with the random comment selector, and it's going to pick a random winner out of the comments below that video. I'll get in touch with you, I'll let you know you've won, and I'll get your gift to you. So I hope you'll be watching. So you folks know me, there's always got to be rules. Here's kind of the outline and the general rules of this contest, or this number of contests. Number 1, I retain the right at any time to cancel it, change it, amend it, alter it, or deny gifts. I'm just going to lay that out there. Depending on the comment, what's chosen, I'll make the final decision as to who the winner is, but I will definitely show you the results on a following video after I've done the random selection. I'll film it so that you can actually see how it was done on my screen and see the name of the winner come up. That way everything is transparent and we all know what's happening. Number 2, you can only win once. The twist? I'm not going to tell you what any of the gifts are yet. So hopefully what that will do is if you see a gift announced and it's something that you're interested in or that could be of value to you or help you on your property, then you'll lay a comment down below that video. Hopefully that'll minimize any potential where somebody wins a gift that's not really of any value to them. Because this way I'd like you to be able to have a chance to win something that you really need to use on your property. A couple of important notes. Again, the contests are only open to people who reside or live in Canada or the continental USA. There's many definitions on Google for continental USA, but I think most people understand it's basically the main body. I wish I could do these giveaways for you good folks that are outside of the continent, but unfortunately there's a number of challenges to getting certain types of gifts overseas. So I apologize again, but I do thank you for your support. And lastly, you need to be 18 years of age, and the gift is just that, it's a gift. So GP Outdoors or any person or entity affiliated with GP Outdoors assumes no risk or liability for anything that occurs with the gift, either before or after you've received it. I can't say enough, but I wanted to thank all of my subscribers, especially my longtime subscribers that have been with me since the days I was using that one little bullet camera. I appreciate your online friendships. We become pen pals, and it's been a lot of fun, and I hope we do it for another 300 videos. Have a wonderful week with your family. I wish you all the best in the 25K contests, and I'll see you again on the next one. Cheers.